Hello and welcome to our third edition of FlowFest. I'm really looking forward to have you here and have you with us during today's FlowFest session, where we have plenty of updates of our company, of our product, of our customers. That's why I'm really looking forward to have you here. So first of all, I want to give you an update about how we as a company are doing. We have already many years of history with Flowable, and we are progressing quite well with the company, with the customers, and also with the open source community. That's why I'm really happy to present that with Flowable, we have actually a very big open source community for a BPM engine. So we are happy to have more than 10,000 people who are actively contributing to Flowable day to day. They're filing issues, they're adding pull requests, they're giving us feedback to improve the product. The community itself really helps to get us better every day. Also, we launched Flowable Cloud 2 years ago. We are also very happy that the number surpassed more than 11,000 registrations. So people signing up on our cloud environment, modeling their flows, also executing them, and really pushing process execution to the limits. Besides the community that we are building and that community that is contributing, we are also very happy that we have many customers where we help with. I'm very happy to report that 8 of 10 banks in Switzerland are actually Flowable customers. So they use the tool in our home market, where Flowable is from, to really digitalize processes, to digitalize their entire organization with Flowable. So we are happy that we have added up more than 120 customers during the time, and the number really keeps increasing with customers all over the world. So those customers are really that drive us every day. The customers are really pushing us to deliver a product which helps them to really deliver value on a day-to-day basis. We have many customers across the globe. We are operating globally. We are serving customers across the globe in North America, Europe, in Asia, and we are happy to have them and also understand what is driving them to make our product better over the time. With Flowable, we are a cross-industry, cross-vertical product. So we provide value across everybody who thinks that process orchestration is something that helps his organization to get better on a day-to-day work. So it started with banking, where we have our heritage from, insurance, healthcare, manufacturing, and retail. So in the industries, banking is one of the top industries which are requiring process orchestration. They have many use cases. It can be from customer servicing, it can be compliance. And we have many banks that really are using the entire Flowable stack for the digitalization of their organization. And we have seen tremendous success and also repeated use cases across the industry with our solutions. So it can be client lifecycle management, where we have more than 150 use cases which are implemented. It can start from the onboarding, it can be the servicing, it can be anything around the customer to increase the customer experience, to reduce the cost, and overall to drive a better business. We are also very active in the lending and payments industry. With FIS, we have a partner which is building their product with Flowable for the lending and payment industry. So more than 10 customers are trusting us to really build products or lending solutions based on Flowable. Also very important for the banking industry, where it's about governance, risk, and compliance. We have seen many banks using Flowable on a day-to-day basis to fulfill all the requirements they have from the regulators on the market. And they're able to do that in a fast manner with 100% traceability and 100% success. Beside the banks, we also have a very big heritage in the insurance industry. So we help insurances not just for claims management, but also for any other process which is related to serve customers and provide a better service. So we have seen insurances really using Flowable around the offering phase, is really creating tailor-made packages for their customers with Flowable. So using a case management, using process orchestration to generate good offers and really win new customers. We help insurances on underwriting their contracts. So it's really complex insurance packages where underwriting involves many people, where we have seen customers really being successful and streamlining their teams in the underwriting area. And of course, there are claims, which everybody knows. That's the main interaction in the insurance space. And we are seeing customers really automating 100% of their claims process together with Flowable in the area of case management. So all those customers, they really joined our Flowable story, and Flowable has a long history, so to say. So if we see where Flowable is today, it all started with activity, where already we as a Flowable team, that day being Adorasware, started to contribute to the activity project. From the activity project, the Flowable project has been created in 2018, and we have launched Flowable Work. So it's basically using the engines, which are Apache licensed, and creating tools on top like Flowable Design, like Flowable Work, to really work on a low-code level together with the open source engines. And we still stay committed to real open source, to Apache 2 licensed engines, which everybody can use. And then we provide the tools which makes you faster and more efficient to use Flowable. So our commitment to the community stays, and in the last years, we have been very successful in growing that community. Because as I mentioned, we now have more than 10,000 people joining the community and working with those engines. We have seen many companies taking the engines and building great products out of Flowable. So in 2023, like I mentioned, we launched Flowable Cloud. So there is a hosted design where you can sign up, you can model all your workflows, you can model everything and execute the processes. So it's really a one-stop shop where you sign up and you can use it and just work with process orchestration, case management to get the full power of Flowable. This year, on January, we basically simplified our product setup. So we launched Flowable Platform. So that's basically one product which is the same in the cloud, which is the same on-prem. So all the tools included inside the Flowable Platform, which you can use to design, to run, to inspect, and also to manage processes in an enterprise organization. The next area which is coming is the Flowable AI release. So that's a release additionally for Flowable Platform. So you can really opt in to use that release and add AI capabilities to your installation. I will later talk about the exciting features that we have with Flowable AI, which are really on top of the Flowable Platform, which will help you to get more productive and to really utilize AI inside a process execution. So let's talk about the latest release, which we have released in summer, the release 3.16. Flowable always had the view that we are maintaining and we are making our product better with each release. So we are working on different areas, and 3.16 shows that already. We have new dashboards where you can better have an overview how you work and what you do. We have plugins for cross-departmental collaboration. That's essentially an internal marketplace which you can use. We will also bring that concept to the cloud so that you can basically publish and use plugins inside Flowable and share basically process templates or application templates or share other artifacts which others can use. We started to really roll that out internally for our big enterprise customers that demand to have an internal marketplace so they can share plugins with each other. We worked on the visual comparison of model versions, so you can really work in designing, you can really change complex processes and see what has changed and also get a preparation for your migrations which you might need over the time. We have worked on many additional enhancements which are typically driven by enterprise customers demanding features which are really needed in an enterprise environment, which is our home as Flowable. So with the 3.16 release, we are basically changing the fact that the AI release will be in between as an additional. Normally we tend to summer and winter release cadence. This time there will be an intermediate release that will enhance the Flowable platform by AI, which I'm going to show you later. Let's talk about Flowable platform. Flowable platform is basically our product which we use, and we use that for two areas. We use that for intelligent business automation, where we believe we have the right abstractions like cases, processes, decisions, and many other tools. It's up to more than 20 tools that you can use to really model and design your process and execute that. But it's not only about intelligent business automation, it's also about intelligent orchestration, where we already have a track record, but we are investing there. We are doubling it down, working on connectors, how to connect systems, working on integrating iPaaS-like systems to even connect more systems with that, having a solution for RPA within our product, but also with integrations, and also working in the IDP, Intelligent Document Processing space, to really feed in content into the Flowable platform. And this business automation and orchestration is a concept which is not just something we invented, but is something analysts talk about. It is something that analysts in Gartner has, for instance, recently coined the so-called BOAT, which is a unified platform automation. It's about business orchestration and automation technologies. And Flowable was already working on that and has already many capabilities. So we typically come from the BPA space, where it's all about process orchestration. Flowable also, since the beginning, was very strong and is very strong in the LCAP market when it comes around low-code tools. So that is our heritage, driving BPA, enriching it with LCAP features. But now the next step for us is adding RPA, adding iPaaS, adding IDP, and other connectors to really increase the enterprise connectivity. And with that together, Flowable will be the powerful platform where you can orchestrate all your processes inside your organization. So let's talk about how BOAT will look like in practice. So what does Flowable offer, or what does Flowable do so that you can really orchestrate your system in your organization? So if you look about BOAT, it's about four things that I want to talk about. First, about connectors, then about IDP, iPaaS, and RPA. So let's talk about connectors. And I've already shown in the last FlowFest and on many other occasions, we have shown that there are basically three types of connectors that we support. So there's the services connector, which you could use as a very versatile connector where you can connect anything, which is basically an API, or more specifically a REST API, which you can pull in Flowable and use it. We have also started to support enterprise connectors where you can work with enterprise systems and really call them, but also pull data into our data abstraction and really use that data inside your process orchestration. And the last one is event-based connectors, where it's all about working with events in an asynchronous way and using them inside Flowable. So let's talk about the service connectors first. The service connectors are there so you can connect business systems with flow code. So flow code means you don't need to code. So there are no-code connectors where you can basically graphically in Flowable design, create a service, and implement it. If you want to go really deep, you can also use a pro-code approach to really integrate it. Flowable offers you both options, but most of the time, a low-code or no-code approach is the one which is really sufficient inside Flowable. So those connectors is basically a REST service which you can use. We provide service discovery. So you give us your definition, we will inspect that definition and basically create the service for you. We will extract the metadata. So everything what we can see from the discovery phase, we automatically create it. And we can map the data, which is crucial, so that you can really map outside data models with your internal flowable, process-oriented data model. So those service connectors are already with Flowable, and we have seen that many times being used by our customers. Next one are the enterprise connectors. The enterprise connectors are really there to integrate enterprise systems. And last year we have shown that we have already shipped the Salesforce connectors. We have the SAP connector in our roadmap to be delivered soon, and many other enterprise systems which we see on a day-to-day basis being used within Flowable applications. Those enterprise connectors, they help because you can really build a unified data model. You can pull in data models from your enterprise system, like Salesforce, and use them one-to-one inside Flowable. You can recognize once there is a change inside that data model that you need to adapt your orchestrated processes. So you can work with the data, you can interact with the systems, so you can really call them, you can basically trigger something on those systems, and all with the nice way of really working with a full no-code integration. So there's no coding needed, everything works within Flowable design. And those enterprise connectors, they really help you to really build powerful use cases together with Flowable. So we see manufacturing customers using Flowable as a central orchestrator between their Salesforce, between their SAP Ariba, between their SAP system, where the entire process from winning an order basically until you ship it is orchestrated inside Flowable. People are adding steps, people are really connecting those systems. And that is our vision for enterprise connectors, to really connect all your mission-critical enterprise systems and orchestrate them with Flowable. We have, like I said, the Salesforce connector already in the product. We are shipping the SAP connector soon. And that gives you already two of the major systems being used within typical enterprise organizations, which you can connect and orchestrate within your system. So besides enterprise connectors and the classic service connector, there's also the event-based approach. So this is typically the case if you don't want to have a synchronous conversation, you want to be more decoupled, so to say, or you have a big volume of systems. And many people ask us in the past, hey, can you handle a lot of volume with Flowable? And we say yes. We have customers handling millions and millions of events with Flowable, processing them with our case engine, process engine, decision engine, and working with millions events even per hour, not just during the day. So we have many high volume use cases where event-based systems are really great, because the first and most important thing is you can asynchronously work with them. So you can decouple your systems. You can really make them more robust because nobody is waiting for the other system. You can initiate processes based on events. So you can filter many events, multiple events, and even without starting any process, you can first decide which event is worth looking into that. Which events do you want to process with Flowable and which one you just want to skip? We have very powerful filtering rules where you can plug into an event stream and decide when and how to start a process. And also, basically, you can handle them. So you can really work with large volumes because there are different ways how you can filter them, split them, and really partition those events and use them inside the system. So in summary, talking about the connectors, it's really about up to the user. So you can decide based on your criteria, do you have more business-oriented systems where you likely will use the enterprise connector? Do you want to use the regular connector to connect your applications, which sometimes are very business-oriented, sometimes it might be technical? Or do you want to really work on a high-volume scenario where event-based processing is the way to go for you? So it's really up to you. Flowable is about it's about choice. You decide which type of connectors fit your use case best, and you use the package of those events, of those connectors all together. So next, let's talk about IDP, Intelligent Document Processing. This is an important part of Flowable. We already had a very powerful content support inside Flowable. So basically it's about content generation. So we were able to turn cases into documents. We have seen customers being very successful by using Flowable to create a case and out of that case generate a documentation for a customer. It can, for instance, be an investment proposal. It can be a deal overview. It can be anything where cases basically turn into documents and are used to communicate with outside parties, to archive them, or to just render all the information in one place. We have worked a lot of times on content management. So you can really store documents inside a case, inside a process, and use it, and also decide where to store it. So it can be SharePoint, it can be any other system. We already have a dedicated SharePoint support, so you can really turn your Flowable documents and connect them with SharePoint altogether. But the next step is, how do you ingest documents into the system? And that is our next integration, which we are having in our system. We work with Abby on a technology partnership and really worked hard in the last few months to integrate Abby into our platform. So there it's not about handling documents inside the case or generating data. It's about ingesting data. So it's about OCRing data, classifying that data. So first to understand what record type it is, invoice, document, any government form. Then extract the data of the document and then validate and enrich those documents directly inside Flowable. So there is no need to switch to an external system in order to process them. So I'm really looking forward, and in this FlowFest you will see a dedicated session where it's about ingesting documents with the new Abby integration that we have. Next, let's talk about RPA. On the RPA space, we have also worked a lot in the last few weeks and months. So Flowable in the RPA space, we believe RPA is a great addition to our business process platform. We are working on a dual strategy at the moment, so we will soon ship an open source integration with the RPA framework, with open source RPA frameworks. We really believe in the value of open source and working with different communities. That's why we will ship different open source integrations with different RPA frameworks. They provide already a tremendous value to customers. But we also know, because we've seen many customers where UiPath works together with Flowable, that this integration is also valuable. So you will soon see a UiPath integration, which will allow you inside Flowable to call RPA bots inside the UiPath environment. So it's really, again, about choice. You decide if you want to go with an open source, more simpler approach to RPA automation, or you want to go with a vendor like UiPath with a very long history and a tremendous feature set when it comes to RPA automation. So Flowable gives you the option to decide. The same is like for the iPaaS or integration on itself. On the iPaaS, it's about having many connectors which you can connect. And there we are also seeing where do we go in the future in terms of commercial iPaaS editions. But what we will ship within the product, and we already have it, but we are really updating that and revamping that, is the Apache Camel integration. So we have more than 300 components which you can connect. You have a great integration platform. All the enterprise integration patterns are supported there, working together with Flowable. And you have a flexible deployment option. So you can deploy within Flowable, you can have a dedicated instance. So it's all about your choice again. So if you want to go with integrating many systems, we basically will give you an Apache Camel integration that helps you to integrate up to 300 or more components. So as you see, although the concept of boat might be new, it's nothing new for Flowable. It's nothing new for our platform, because we are really working on that already since years, driving the story together. So let's talk about the last topic, and there can't be a keynote today without AI. And we have seen many talks like FlowFest last year. We have seen webinars in Flowable. So AI is really a topic where we are investigating and investing a lot to make our platform better, because we really believe AI is really adding value into the business process space and really bring that to the next level. And there are 4 areas which I'm going to talk about. First, why does AI give you an advantage as a company? Second, what our AI assistant process orchestration means. This is our vision why we believe AI will really help to infuse different ways of working with AI inside process orchestration. How does AI look in practice? How do you use that with Flowable? And lastly, I want to talk about the AI release. So let's talk about the AI-assisted advantage. AI is so big because many of the decision makers in the business really believe that AI will give you a competitive advantage, a better customer experience, so you can provide better personalized services. Maybe you can generate forms on the fly. Maybe you can have chatbots instead of filling out any forms. You will have faster response times. Maybe some stuff can just be automatically responded or not waiting for a person. 24/7 availability. People can get a service all the time inside your organization. It's about cost savings. Let's be honest. Especially now when we see a more recession-like environment, it's about saving costs. You can reduce the cost, you can reduce the number of errors. And it's about higher productivity. So you can basically increase the bandwidth of your organization for growth or for tapping into new businesses. So that's why AI gives you the competitive advantage. And how can a competitive advantage be basically organized in the process world? Yeah, it's basically AI gives us new tools because we're moving from deterministic to probabilistic processes. And this is great with our vision because we already believed all the time processes cannot be strict. They need to be dynamic and adaptable. That's why we believe a process orchestration engine cannot be run without case management. That's why our firm belief is you can really design boxes where you work, and AI will help you to basically fill out certain steps. So we call it, typically, we provide the guardrails of AI to really execute AI code inside your overall process. And that basically will move from highly structured, it will allow you to basically create loosely structured processes. So there is some structure, there are some steps you want to follow, but inside those steps you want to have flexibility, which you can induce with AI. It is moving you from a linear approach into a non-linear approach. So not everything is foreseeable. And this is really where you accept there is complexity and adaptability within your processes. It goes from a repetitive task into a dynamic task. So the way of the process execution might change very dynamically in paths which you might not have even foreseen. And we are really happy that we are working our vision to really support those type of scenarios together with Flowable. The next one is about cognitive automation. So I talked about how do you ingest documents into your system. So you have documentations, you do analytics, and then you have a structured document. But in the future, it can be any content which you are parsing and analyzing with AI. It can be emails, chats, it can be documents. And this is really the power. It doesn't end up with a document. It really goes further. You can really get any interaction, any data you have, and use it with AI. It's about decision intelligence. So we have a very great rule support on the DMN standard, but it's always upwards thinking. You need to think beforehand, what rules do you have and make a decision. With AI, we believe the future is you have large language models or other systems where basically those decisions are made on the fly without even having modeled them out from the beginning. We also believe that AI assistance insight. So you have many people and you really have a great data set, how your organization works. And today, to unlock that data, you need to model dashboards, you need to model things. But in the future, we believe with AI, you can really query your system. It's like, which tasks take the longest? What are my workforce patterns? Where are my bottlenecks in the organization? This is something where you don't need experts to create dashboards up front. You can really ask the system and question it. So then you get the answers and the insights you need. And last but not least, it's all about productivity. We think with AI, Gen AI, that's the next step of low code. So really the subject matter experts, what you see on the left-hand side, they can design things with a natural language. And then basically they generate models. And then they start to interact with developers and stakeholders. And then they enrich those models. But the beginning will be really the generation with AI altogether. So then the next one is really about app generation is the app service. So with the app service, you can really basically use unstructured content and generate a REST-like service. Then we have the content analysis, where you can really, like I said, use the content, summarize it, work with the sentiment, prompts, and everything else. So those are the three features that we are already having as of today, which I'm going to show you now in Flowable. But we have many on our roadmap. We are planning to release an AI case copilot where you can really run analytics. You can ask your case about any patterns or anything. You can inject dynamic processes, or you can really work with an AI chatbot. The next one, what we will deliver, is the AI Insights, where you get a dashboard, which you can generate, like I just mentioned before. So let's start how all the good things of Flowable will look like. So first, let's start with the app generation, which I talked about. The app generation is one of the features which is really great to avoid your so-called empty canvas. So you can enter some data like generate an order process with typical steps, including a credit card check and other things to an online service. And then you get a generated model. So you don't need to model that from the beginning. You can really get a nice quick start and then basically change the model over the time. So the next step is the AI service, which I talked briefly about. The AI service really allows you to take any user input that can be, for instance, a form, an email, parse it, and basically with so-called intents, generate structured data on the fly, which is really great because in the past you would need to basically model everything around that. But from a very basically free-floating input, you can really generate data objects inside your organization. And this is one of the most powerful services we have in our system, so that from dynamic content, you can really generate structured content and use it in your process. The next one is in the content service, where we have content analysis. So the content analysis is really, you can work on a sentiment, for instance. So you get emails from your customer or content, and then you want to decide, do I need to react immediately? Or is the customer happy and it's basically just a confirmation about a good service I provided? Or do I have a compliance issue based on the data that I'm having? Do I have a customer which is risking to churn? And with that, you can really do decisions inside your system and then decide basically what is the sentiment of that data and how to react on that. This is also available, and I'm really looking forward that today there will be a great AI talk where they will show you all the features you can have with AI content analysis. To give you a little bit an outlook, which is not part of the AI release yet, but we are working on the case copilot. The case copilot, that's why we believe cases and AI go so well hand in hand. The case copilot, that basically allows you in a running case just to say, hey, please send this case to John for review. And that step was not part of your case initially. That is a dynamic injection of steps into the case. And that is really the power, which I said in the beginning with AI. It's about nonlinear processes. It's about dynamic processes inside your organization. So you have a very structured path if you want, but it also allows you to inject additional steps inside your system. And this is our vision, where we are working day to day with our team. We are creating great stuff. But for today, we already have a Flowable AI release that is an early access release, which will already give you AI-assisted case and process modeling, which will give you the AI service where you can work with dynamic content, and all available for downloading it today and using it today. We are really looking forward about your feedback. We already have customers starting to use that inside their system, and we are actually working day to day to make our AI release better with adding case copilot, analytics, and other things into the mix. So that's all from our update. I'm really looking forward to FlowFest. We have great talks from our software engineers talking about the latest and greatest stuff in the tech stream. We have a great innovation stream where you can learn about AI and other things. We have a business streams where we have customers actually talking about how they use Flowable and what they do, which I'm really looking forward, and I'm really thankful for our customers joining FlowFest. And we have a closing session with an analyst from Forrester talking about his view on the DPA market. So with all being said, Really looking forward to the FlowFest, and thanks for being with us. Thanks for having us. Cheers.